Now, Tanzania and Ethiopia have announced the signing of accords with South Korea for loans worth billions of dollars. And this is part of broader deals that will give the Asian nation access to Africa's crucial mineral resource and vast export markets. Now, Tanzania said it will borrow $2.5 billion over the next 5 years through concessional loans, and Ethiopia, which is a fast-growing economy, signed a $1 billion financial deal for over 4 years. However, it has been argued that the deals like this subtly plunder Africa's resources, most especially as interest will be paid back on the loan. So joining me to talk about this from Nairobi, Kenya is Professor XN Iraqi, an economist at the University of Nairobi. Professor Iraqi, it's nice to have you around.
Good afternoon, and how are you?
Yes, I'm doing good. Let's quickly touch on this. Now, the loan agreements are worth billions of dollars, as I said earlier, but when you consider the terms and the conditions for such loans and why it is being struck in this manner with African countries and their mineral resources, would you say it is more beneficial than exploitative?
Let me first confess that I expect this debate to be on for several months because it took all of us by surprise. I think until we see the benefits of this deal, my suspicion is that it is more expensive, or the costs are more than the benefits. Because we are going to lose, African countries are going to lose control of their resources. So if they were given a choice, or if I'm given a choice, I would probably tell these countries, Korea and the rest, give us resources, give us technology, and then we exploit our resources at our own terms. But as things are now, I think there will be some issues that are going to come in future.
Well, just as I've said, some people have said that it is trade by barter, that African countries would free up crude resources they do not have the capacity or expertise to utilize while they get concessionary loans. But then in other arguments, it's been said that this is a way that Africans actually shortchange themselves, because you are trying to get a particular fund, but then you are opening up your market, your export market, and giving out crude resources. So when it comes to negotiations like this, Professor Iraqi, what do you think the details should be to make it more beneficial to the countries that are trying to access funds, but then on swap level?
First of all, we don't know how we have not been given the quantity of resources that are going to be bartered, or that are going to be in this particular deal. So the first thing we need to do is how much resources are going to be put here. What will be the interest rates for how many years? So unless those data or that data is put on the table, we are going to be short-changed. So what I would want to see is every country put on the table the resources that they have, and if possible, get the highest bidder. Maybe if we got China, if we got Australia, if we got another country, we'd be getting a better deal. It should not be one way. It should not be single source. We should say these are the resources we have in the market. Then we call the bidders. Anybody who want to come and exploit our resources, we ask for who is going to give us the best deal. I think that's the best way out.
Okay. Well, instead of looking for the highest bidder, Professor Iraqi, when you look at what these countries put on the table, for instance, Tanzania, who is hoping to get $2.5 billion, is putting a couple of things on the table. We're talking about oil, gas, fishing, minerals like lithium, nickel, graphite, and these are the things that South Korea would be accessing for renewable energy technology space. So if you are actually sitting over a discussion like this, would you be looking at the highest bidder, or you would be negotiating for funds and access to technological advancements that can help drive the diversification of the Tanzanian economy, looking at the, of course, minerals or the benefits that come with this particular kind of arrangements?
In the short run, I would look for the highest bidder, whoever will give me the best deal. But in the long run, I would look for technology transfer. I get technology in my country, I get technicians, I get engineers, I get the know-how, so that we can exploit those resources ourselves instead of other people coming to exploit them on our behalf. Remember, the people getting those minerals are going to add value and get very high returns compared with these countries that are exporting raw materials and processed minerals or other resources. So in the short run, let's get the best deal. In the long run, let's do it ourselves by training people, by getting technology transfer, by advancing our technology so that we can do it ourselves in the best terms possible.
Okay, so we quickly touch on Ethiopia. Now, it will receive $1 billion for over 4 years, which will be used for infrastructure, science, tech, health, urban development, and the likes. Now, how important are these areas of focus for its people and the economy? And how viable can this be when it comes to repaying back the loans without hassle?
This is the crux of the matter, that we are going to get a lot of loans for Ethiopian case or any other case. We come and use them for resources, for services like education, urban development. And some of these services like health, education, and so on do not give immediate returns. So when it comes to paying back, that might be a problem. But as for the purpose of investment, is a good deal, because in most African countries, these are the particular services that are missing: education, health, urban development. So if they can be used to improve the capacity of the African people, the capacity of the people to live a better life, our living standards, I'm for it. But we must, at the back of our mind, consider how we are going to pay back, because not an investment, it's a consumption.
Now, looking at Tanzania, Professor Iraki, before I let you go, the debt of this particular country rose by 17.09% in 2023 to reach 87.47 trillion naira. Would you still advise Tanzania to continue to have this kind of discussions with international lenders? Because, of course, it would continue to affect its, of course, debt portfolio.
I think when Tanzania is dealing with other people who want to buy her resources or give her money, she should be very careful, because other countries have been in debt distress. We have Ghana, for example, and a lot of other African countries that are struggling with debt. I noticed that Tanzania has very low debt to GDP ratio. And I think that's a good thing in the long run. So in negotiations, Tanzania should make sure it does not get into that trap.
And for Ethiopia, now, of course, on the other hand, Ethiopia has about $28 billion of external debt and is also grappling with sky-high inflation and a shortage of foreign currency reserves. Now, this loan deal continues to push the Horn of Africa towards the red zone. So for Ethiopia, is the situation more precarious, or would you say there's a potential for positive economic turnaround if it goes along negotiating deals like this?
I think even before Ethiopia negotiated for these deals, the debt situation has not been very good. So if you get more debt, unless the debt is cheaper than the previous debt, or use cheaper debt without the previous debt, then you might make the situation more dire. But I'm hoping that the negotiators are looking to all those considerations to make sure that the ordinary Ethiopians, the ordinary people in that country, are not disadvantaged. But if you find yourself in a hole, the best thing to do is to stop digging it.
Okay. All right. Professor Iraki, economist, University of Nairobi, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. We appreciate that.
Thank you, and have a good afternoon.